Hello everyone, you're welcome once again to Let's Talk with Esther Agbi. I am Esther Agbi. And the topic for our discussion today, it's a very solemn one. So, I don't know. Okay, let's just go on. Well, the title for discussion today is about the demise of Mrs. Osinachi Nwachukwu, the popular gospel singer, the renowned singer. It was allegedly said that it's her husband that deleted her. It's still under investigation, so we don't know the full story, but that is what is being said on the internet. At this time, well, I just express my condolences even to the family at this time. It's a very difficult time I believe they are passing through. I listen to people, when things happen, I don't just want to rush out. Just want the dust to settle down a little bit, listen to others, get more information about the story. And I have listened to many people. I have listened to the family members talking. I've listened to other YouTubers and the news about how everything went, and the story people are giving, the initial story that she was sick, and then later more revelation came out that she was beaten and things like that. I've also listened to her pastor, Pastor Dr. Enenche. He gave his own side and how much he knew about the story. Well, it's so sad, and I'm not here to begin to pass blame as some people have been doing. They have blamed the family, people have blamed maybe the lady herself, the victim, victimized the second time. People have blamed the church, they have blamed Christianity, they have blamed friends, they have blamed church members who knew, and the blame just goes all round, around, people receiving their own portion of the blame. I'm not here to blame anybody today, but I'm just here that, I don't know, I just want to say one or two things. So it's true that some of these people may have a part of the blame allocated to them, but actually when we look at the whole story, and when you hear people who have been victimized, especially domestic violence victims, you discover one thing, and that is they are very secretive. Not that they don't want to speak out, but the issue is they feel that there's that fear that when they speak out, the aggressor, that is the person that is giving them that beating and abusive relationship, the aggressor will become more aggressive, and they in turn will be the one to suffer, right, the injuries. So based on that, they may want to be quiet, because we're hearing stories that when anybody who knows about the story, they will say, oh, let's go and report to this. You should say, oh, the lady will be pleading, oh, please don't go, don't tell anybody, please, 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 because she's thinking, what will happen? What will happen if the aggressor hears? And then those people are not there with her in the home, So the first thing, when there's domestic violence, we know that God says that that He hates divorce, but God has also given us brain to think. Each individual has his or her own brain to think. Even though God hates divorce, does God like this situation that has happened, that somebody will take another person's life as a result of domestic violence, abusive relationship? God does not like that as well. So we have to think. So the first thing that should have happened was she should have been removed from that situation. And if she was removed from that situation, then she can think. I think there was a story going around that she was separated for a little while and came back again. But it is only when she's not in that position, that situation, that under the same roof with her abuser, that is when she'll be able to open up fully. Anyway, so when people started blaming the pastor, I was just like, no, We don't know much. We don't know if the pastor even knew so much about this situation. please, in my mind, I was talking to myself, please don't blame the pastor. Don't blame the pastor. You don't know how much he knew. Well, he may have his shortfalls, his shortcomings, but he didn't know, according to him, because I listened to him attentively, he didn't know so much about the story. But there's one thing, you know, from 2020 vision now, looking back, we all now chipping. Oh, why did he not say this? Why did he not say this? The only thing I saw there was that, or one of the things, no, not necessarily the only thing. One of the things I saw there that the pastor forgot or did not ask was that if the lady comes and says, or if anybody comes to you and says, oh, I have this chest pain, but even though you pray about it, and according to him, after the prayers, he also sent her to medical team, you know, specialized medical team to look at the situation. But there was one thing I was still expecting him to have asked, to have, you know, gotten that information from her, was how did all this start? How did all this start? The etiology, the cause, the origin of that chest pain. Because when you go to a doctor, normally they will say, okay, oh, I have this. They will ask you, how did it start? Did it just start when you were sleeping or sitting down? So I'm just thinking, this is me just thinking now. I'm not passing blame, but I said, maybe if he had said that, maybe he did, and she didn't even disclose the origin. So I'm just thinking in my mind that if he had just asked that question, how did all this start? You know, maybe she would have had the boldness or the confidence to say, oh, sometimes I receive beatings, you know, from the husband or whatever. I don't know. That is just me thinking, you know. So, and this story is so similar to a story that happened, not just a story, this is an actual situation that happened in the US recently about a very young lady. Her name is Gabrielle Petito. It was so painful too. This is a lady of about 22 years of age, and her boyfriend, they went out and, you know, and suddenly the quarrel broke out, and the boy became very abusive, and even, I don't know, passerby had to call the police. You know, people driving by had to call the police, and the police came and they were interrogating. You know, victims of domestic abuse, they will be the one even protecting the aggressor. And when they started showing her on TV, she was saying, oh no, she was talking to the policeman. Oh no, actually, that she herself was the aggressor. She was the aggressor. I said, wow. The police, they went a little bit further. They said, how did all these bruises come about in your hand? And she was just trying to explain it away. Oh no, I gave him a slap or something first. I can't even remember the whole story. And then he now, you know, tried to retaliate or something like that. But I was the aggressor. That was what this young girl said. And before we could even hear more about the story, the boy deleted her, you know, and she just passed away. And people started saying, oh, please, policeman, get hold of this boy, get hold of this boy. We are sure something went wrong somewhere. We are very sure. But the police said, well, there's nothing they could do. They just have to follow protocol. Those are all the things, the formalities you have to go through, do this, do that. And unfortunately, before the policeman could get hold of him, he also deleted himself. So sad, you know. So from all of this, we are not here to apportion blame to this or that, or police or community, or to this or that. But going forward, moving forward, what can we do? You know, as the scripture says, we should be our brother's keeper. Even the community, everybody knows that we should be our brother's keeper. What can we do? In North America, people say, when you see something, say something. When you see something, say something. And all these greetings that we normally say, oh, hello, how are you? You know, sometimes we are not even patient enough to even listen to the response. We just feel the person will say, oh, I'm fine, I'm good. You could be saying, I'm good, I'm fine. But is that person really fine from the inside? Is that person really fine? If we are patient enough, we slow down a little bit, we listen. We ask again, are you truly fine, my sister? Are you truly fine, my brother? Probably they'll be able to open up a little bit and say something. And my advice that I want to give here, Even though somebody says, oh, please, 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 don't disclose that information. You know what? If you think your disclosure of that information will save a life, please do. Even though if that victim would later say, oh, you are no longer my friend, it's okay. You can no longer be the friend, but at least in your mind, you may have saved somebody's life, you know. And the aggressor most times is not always the man. Sometimes it could be the woman, could be aggressive towards the man too, or the man aggressive towards the woman. Whatever situation it is, if you find out one way or the other that somebody is under domestic abuse, please say something. Speak up. And ladies, don't be afraid. Speak up to save your life. Gentlemen, don't be afraid. Speak up. Don't say, oh, people will say, oh, is it my wife that is beating me? No, speak up, please. Speak up. Let's truly be a brother's keeper. That's all I have to say. Let us ignore their pleas. Ignore the pleas. Don't worry, be bold, be brave. If you are a true friend, go out there and disclose that information to somebody. And God might bring the right person that will bring the right counsel even to that particular home, so that lives will be saved. Please, please, ladies, let us speak up. Gentlemen, please speak up. Don't continue to forbear and be receiving more injuries. We don't know. Maybe it just started with a little thing. It continued to pile up and pile up and pile up, and the beatings and whatever, we don't even know. All these things are just allegations. But we know that the police will get down to the root of things. And I just pray for the family at this time, that God will be with them and comfort them. And I pray for the body of Christ, that we should use our senses, use our brain. Use our brain. Everything cannot be written in the Bible. Everything cannot be written in the Bible. So use your brain to think. Is it better to be in an abusive relationship and then lose your life? Or to stay away and reflect and meditate and think and serve God? Anyway, it's so sad. I don't want to talk too much. But I just pray that God will give us wisdom to be able to make the right decision at all times. God bless you. Shalom. See you very soon. Bye for now.